How you doing, guys? We've got another fight card this week. UFC Fight Night 42 from Albuquerque, New Mexico. As Smooth Benson Henderson takes on Rustam Khabilov in the main event in Albuquerque. Another week, another fight card. Had a couple of good cards from Germany and Brazil at the weekend there. Two events in the same day. I don't know about you, I thought maybe just a little bit too much. I'm a fight fan, I watched it all, but I was very tired at the end of the day. A long time to be watching fights. Some great fights, so I'm not really complaining too much. But I say we're here at the Tingley Coliseum in Albuquerque, New Mexico for Henderson versus Khabilov. I'm going to get started in a second, and we're going to see if I can get some good predictions down here. So I want to give a shout out to a couple of guys who bust my balls on Twitter. Rob and Michael. If you don't follow these guys on Twitter, I'm not going to put subtitles up here for you. Go follow them on Twitter at Decker410 and MMA fan Michael. Two great follows on Twitter, so go follow them. Right, we're going to get started here. We're going to go all the way down the light heavyweight division. We've got Patrick Cummins against Roger Navarez. Navarez is a natural middleweight, and he's coming in short notice here. He fights out of Texas, I believe it was. I remember, I think I've seen this guy fight once. I've seen him fight at Legacy Fighting Championships last September. As I say, he's a natural middleweight, so he's going to be giving up a lot. He had to come into as a big guy. He won that against fight via a very controversial split decision, I remember. He likes to get the fight to the ground, and he likes to kind of ground and pound. I don't think he's going to do that with Cummins here. As Patrick Cummins is a very good wrestler. This is his second fight in the UFC, and you'll probably remember a few months back in February when he fought Daniel Cormier on about a week's notice after Rashad Evans had pulled out via injury. He said some shit about Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier came in there and beat his ass. We didn't get to see much of Patrick Cummins. We know he's a good wrestler. He's very good. I think we'll see that in this fight. He will finish Roger Navarez via TKO. I can see it in the second round right there. Next up, we're in the lightweight division. We've got John Tuck against Jake Lindsay. Jake Lindsay is 9-0, and he's from what I've seen him, he likes to feint and throw hard shots. I think his last 4 wins are by KO. John Tuck, fighting out the MMA lab in Arizona. Met him last year. Great guy. Took time to take a picture and speak to me for a few minutes, which is always nice. He lost to Norman Park last time out, and before that he beat Tieshuan Zhang for his only UFC win so far. This is a tough fight for underdogs. If people putting money on underdogs, Jake Lindsay could be one to look out for here because he hits hard and he's got pretty good cardio. This is a tough one, I think. I think it's a lot closer fight than what a lot of people are saying. A lot of people are just going John Tuck because of the name recognition in the UFC. I don't see it that way. Jake Lindsay, he looks very good, and he looks dangerous as well. But I am going to just go with experience in the octagon, and I'm going to go for John Tuck. Next up, we've got Scott Jorgensen against Danny Martinez in the flyweight division. Scott Jorgensen, he's been in the UFC, the WC for a long time, but the guy's on a skid at the minute, and he really needs to win this fight. His last time out against Hussein Farmiga, it was a little bit controversial because he got headbutted, and it just kind of stopped him in his tracks, and he got taken out by submission. But he's lost his last 3 fights, albeit to pretty class opponents in Uriah Faber, Zach Makovsky, and Hussein Farmiga. Before that, wins over John Albert, Jeff Carn and Ken Stone UFC. But after the John, he lost to Eddie Wineland and Henan Browse. He's lost to really great guys in the UFC. He's a very tough-nosed guy. He hits hard, even though he's only got a couple of KOs in his record. And he's a good wrestler as well. He's against Danny Martinez, who is a guy that he's not a big finisher, but he's got great cardio. He goes the distance. He's been this is his second fight in the UFC, if I remember right. He goes to decision a lot. He tries to use his feints and his he kind of low kicks to get in for the takedown and try and get it that way. He fights out the Alliance team in San Diego. He lost to Chris Carriasso in his UFC debut. Back in the day, he lost to Juicy De Silva. He lost to Benavidez back in the WEC. So yeah, but I think if this fight goes the distance, I think Scott Jorgensen's going to win the fight. He's it's a tough fight. Tough fight. I'm going to go Scott Jorgensen by decision. Next up, I think we've got Lance Benoit against Bobby Volker. Lance Benoit, it's his first time in the UFC in about 19-20 months nearly. Been out with an injury. He's coming off 2 losses in the UFC. Bobby Volker's coming off 3 straight losses in the UFC, so this is going to be one of these cagey fights, I reckon. Benoit is the better fighter. Volker is probably the tougher fighter. After taking beatdowns from Robbie Lawler. Last time out against William Masario Patalino, he was absolutely dominated. Tough fight. Lance Benoist, I think he's just a bit younger. I think Bobby Volker's cardio isn't great, and once it goes into the middle of the second round, he'll kind of deteriorate quite a bit. So, but he's always dangerous, so you've always got to keep an eye out for him. So I'm going to go Lance Benoist by decision. Next up, we've got action in the bantamweight division. We've got Yancy Meza against Sergio Pettis. Anybody that knows me, I'm a fan of both Pettis guys. Team Rufus Sport, Mike Rhodes, all the guys. He lost last time out. He got caught in a submission late in that third round against Alex Caceres, and I think if it went to decision, he would have got the nod. Very, very good kickboxer. I think he's still got some work on the ground to do yet before he gets up with the elite guys. I do think he will be elite. A young guy, he's got plenty of time in the sport to get to where he wants to go. Yancy Meza, I think this is his 4th fight in the UFC. He lost to Chad Mendes, lost to Chico Camus, and a win against John Albert in there via submission. This is going to go to decision as well. Sergio Pettis for me has just got more of an all-around game, so I'm going to go and pick Sergio Pettis for the victory here. Into the main card we go Eric Perez against Brian Caraway. Closest fight in the whole entire card, I think. Hard to pick a win on this one. Brian Caraway is a veteran. He's been around for a long time. He's Misha Tate's bitch, as a lot of people know him as. He last time out he beat who did he beat? Johnny Bedford. Last time out, UFC 159, I think it was, or 58. He won via a guillotine choke. Before that, he lost to Mizugaki in a very close split, and then wins over Dustin Neese and Mitch Gagnon. Very good when he goes to the ground. You've got to be very careful when he goes down there. He's ever improving his feet. He's not great though. This is where Eric Perez will have the distinct advantage in this fight. He's faster. He moves. His footwork's a lot better than Brian Caraway's. He will try and hit the jab and then pull that right hook through to try and knock him out and get him to the ground. I think if the fight goes to the ground, it's definitely Brian Caraway's to win here, and that's what he will probably try and do, is try and take Eric Perez to the ground here. But we are fighting in Albuquerque, which is the home of Eric Perez when he's training for these fights, and at Jackson Winkeljohns. I think he could finish Brian Caraway via TKO, and I think he will. And I'm going to go early. I'm going to go first round TKO for Eric Perez, and I would put a bit of money on Eric Perez as well. I would, if I had some money to throw away, which I had a good night on Saturday, getting some big money off Stipe Miocic via knockout in the first round. I would put some in Eric Perez, and I think I might do that. Next up, we're in the lightweight division. We've got the veteran Yves Edwards against Peter Hallman. Peter Hallman, 3rd fight in the UFC, 1 loss, 1 win against Francisco Trinaldo. He beat via submission last year, and he lost a decision to Al Iaquinta in Manchester last year. It was a good fight against Iaquinta. Iaquinta came on very strong towards the end. Yves Edwards is very dynamic, great footwork, he moves well, and he can hit hard when he wants to, but he has got a suspectable chin, that's the word I was trying to say, as well, so he could hit Edwards and knock him out. But I like the underdog in this fight, and I will be throwing some money on Yves Edwards in this fight. I think he can, the longer the fight goes, it's actually in his favour, so I'm going to go Edwards via decision, and I'll be putting money on that as well. Rafael Dos Anjos against Jason High. Dos Anjos is getting back in here very, very quickly after he got totally dominated by Khabib Nurmagomedov, which a lot of people seem to be getting dominated by that guy at the second. he was on like a 6-fight win streak beforehand. Very, very good when it goes to ground. He's ever improving on his feet, and he loves his footwork. I like watching Dos Anjos' footwork. It's getting a lot better, and you can see the improvements he's making. Wins over Kamal Shalarus, Njokuani, Bocek, Dunham, Donald Cerrone. Before that loss to Khabib. So the guy is a perennial, I think he's a top 10er in that division. Great fighter. Jason High, he's coming back I think after a bad bout of appendicitis in his first fight in the lightweight division. Yeah, I'm not going to get into Jason High because I'm not his biggest fan, to be honest with you. Dos Anjos, decision all day. Next up, we've got a fight which has already happened a few years back. We've got John Dodson against John Moraga. These two fought outside the UFC, and John Dodson dominated. I don't see any difference in this fight. I don't see with the improvements that John Moraga's made where he's going to hurt John Dodson. Dodson's a quicker fighter, better footwork, better feints, gets in and out, punches, hits harder, possibly the better wrestler. Very, very close, but he's got more ways to finish this fight than John Moraga has. He's probably going to try and stop John Dodson, get him to the ground, but I just don't see it happening. I don't think Dodson will knock him out, but if it is going to be a TKO finish, it's going to go to John Dodson. I can't see, not unless Moraga hits him with a good shot. So I'm going to go John Dodson by decision again. Next up, great fight. This is the best. I think this is one of the best fights on the card, and a lot of the cards that has been recently. This is a great fight. Deigo Sanchez against Ross Pearson. Both guys who just love to come forward and put on a show for the fans. Ross Pearson last time out against Melvin Guillard, that fight was just ready to take off. The crowd was amped for it. We were ready for it to go, and then we all seen what happened with the knees from Melvin Guillard as he was coming up and the hand was down. And he's been out ever since then, I reckon. I think, if I remember off the top of my head. Deigo Sanchez, he lost last time out to Miles Jury. As anybody will know that's watched these videos, that knows me, and especially MMA people that know me, Deigo Sanchez is my favourite fighter. I always put money on Deigo Sanchez, and most of the time, the last 2 times I've lost, but was very close to making a lot of money on the Gilbert Melendez fight. Tough fight. I'm going to go Deigo Sanchez. I'm not going to go against my favourite fighter. Ross Pearson I think he can actually finish Deigo Sanchez if he hits him with the right shot. He's got a lot of power. But it's in Albuquerque, and I think Diego's going to overwhelm him, be better on the feet, take him down and ground and pound him for maybe a late stoppage. Very much so, maybe a decision. So I'm going to go Deigo Sanchez. And the last fight is the main event. Benson, Henderson, coming back after his win against Josh Thompson, which was kind of controversial, I think, for a few people, not for me, against Rustam Khabilov. Khabilov, he is 17-1, I believe. Yes, he is, and he's got 3 wins in the UFC. This is a big step up for Rustam Khabilov. He's fought Vince Pichel, won by the KO with the suplexes and the punches, Yancy Medeiros and Jorge Masvidal, and he's stepping up here against the top 3 guys. There's probably him, Pettis, maybe Melendez, the top 3 guys in the lightweight division. He wins this fight, he is right in that top 5 guys in the UFC. Great wrestler. Once he gets a hold of you, very, very hard to get away from him, as we've seen before. But Benson Henderson is a very, very hard guy to get down, pretty much. He kicks, and if you get him down, he will get straight back to his feet. He bounces up and is very, very good. So Benson Henderson, he's the better on that. I think he's probably better on the ground with the jiu-jitsu game, maybe just. But don't count out Khabilov either. On the feet, I think it's Benson Henderson's all day. Khabilov's going to try and throw that big right hand. He's going to try and step forward and throw a big hook and right hook, and try and hurt Henderson. Can Henderson finish Rustam Khabilov here? When was the last time Benson Henderson finished a guy? Off the top of my head, I cannot even remember. His last stoppage, let's see. Wow. Donald Cerrone, 2010, 4 years ago. Can he finish? I'll maybe throw a little bit of change on him to finish in the later rounds. I'm going to go 4th round submission for Benson Henderson. So that's my picks for UFC Fight Night 42. Thank you for watching. Give me a like. Share this video if you can. Very much appreciated. Tell me your picks too. And I'll be back for UFC 174. Demetrious Johnson versus Ali Bogatinov. Probably in a week's time. So take care. See you later and enjoy the fights.